In today's video, we are facing a challenge. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Denny and welcome to a video of Denny Makes. In today's video, we are facing a challenge. I am going to attempt to crochet as many granny squares as I can in just 12 hours. But this challenge does have some rules to it. The first rule is that I have to make every granny square only using my scrap yarn. This is so I could get rid of it and not waste money on buying yarn when I already have lots of it going around. Another rule is that I have to make every granny square with 5 different colors, one color for each row. So every granny square will include 5 rows and a different color for every row. The third rule is that I have to finish every granny square completely. That means weaving in all of my ends on that specific square before I can say that it's finished. And the last rule is that I have to work with a timer. I set myself a timer on my computer for 12 hours, meaning if I take a break, I stop the timer, so it isn't counted into the 12 hours. The 12 hours are just crochet and end weaving. So, without further ado, let's get started. Finished the third square and we officially have only 11 hours to go. Okay, I just laid out all of the different colors that I have, and to be honest, this is not such a big variety. Mostly browns, blues, a bit of pink, and lots of red. So I'll see if I can ask my friend to bring me some of her scraps so I could use that up as well. And yeah, this is what we're working with right now, but I would like a bit of a variety. Hey guys, it is the next day, and yesterday we crocheted a total of 5 squares, which I showed you all of them yesterday. Hey guys, so the 2 squares that I showed you earlier, all of their ends are now completely woven in, so that's nice. I wanted to update y'all about that so you wouldn't see me slacking, because I do weave in my ends. I just didn't have any willpower in me to do it right after the first square. And I wanted to talk to you. And explain myself a little bit. Like, why is this challenge? Why do I need so many granny squares? What is the reasoning behind this? So the fact is, I have like a bunch of granny squares that I've had before I started this challenge, and that is because I am using them as kind of a side project. I just make granny squares whenever I want to for a future blanket, and I will make a bunch of more squares and we'll have a blanket, I hope. And I do not think that this challenge will give me like an amount of squares that will be enough, but I want to make a dent and I want to have more than 10 squares. I want to have like I want to have the start of a blanket. I want to be able to start connecting all of the squares. I wanna make a blanket, and it'll take as much time as it takes. It's fine. I don't really care. But for now, I'm starting it. And of course, I want to see how many squares can I make in 12 hours. I think my guess is about 25. And right now, I have 9.5 hours to go, which is a lot. So, guys, this is the time to drop your guesses in the comment section. How much squares do you think I will be able to make in just 12 hours? Hey guys, I just realized tomorrow I am going out with my parents. We are having like a fun day, and we will have a lot of driving time. Like I think 2.5 hours probably of driving tomorrow. So I don't want to bring a lot of scraps to work on in the car. So I decided that everything that I crochet from now, every square, I am not going to weave in my ends, just so that tomorrow I can bring every square with all of those ends to weave in, and I could just weave them in the car and get that work done while still like working on the challenge. It is a part of the challenge, the end weaving. So I'll just do it tomorrow. Hey guys, editing Denny here, and I had a clip of me talking for 4 minutes, but the earbuds weren't plugged in, so there was a very loud static noise in the background, so I decided to leave it out and just update you. So, long story short, I have made 5 squares to work in the car, and because there wasn't much variety in the scraps anymore, I scrapped up a bunch of old projects that I didn't use anymore. That's it. Enjoy the rest of the video. Good morning, everyone. It is trip day, and I'm going to do it very briefly because I already explained everything last night. So, I'm going to take my 5 unfinished squares just so I can weave in all of the ends and totally finish them up. I'm going to take my yarn scraps, maybe not all of them, but I'm gonna take some yarn scraps so I could work on some more granny squares in the car. And I am going to put on a timer in my phone. Let's say I have 7 hours left, so I'm gonna put a timer of 7 hours on my phone, and that's how we could still keep track of how much time we have left. Hi guys, I'm back home, and as you saw, I finished in the car the 5 squares that I made yesterday and that I had to weave in all of their ends. So to our completely finished pile, I'm adding those 5 squares. Also, I'm going to add 3 squares that I completely started and finished while in the car. So we have this beautiful square. It reminds me of the sunset. This square and this one. I wanted to update y'all that we only have 5 hours left. So we actually worked in the car for like 2 hours, but because it was a lot of end weaving and because I made from scratch like only 3 squares, to me it didn't feel like a lot of work. Yeah, I am glad anyway. So yeah, I'm going to take a little break and I will come back to you when I will continue working on the squares. Good morning, friends. Today, I hope, is the last day of this challenge. I woke up extra early today just so I could finish up the rest of the hours. We have 4 more hours to go, exactly, before I have some errands to run. So, you are now going to witness an extreme lock-in, okay? I'm going to sit in that chair and I'm gonna crochet and weave in all of my ends and just make granny square after granny square after granny square for 4 hours until this challenge is complete. So for the last push of this challenge, let's see how many granny squares I can make. Hey guys, quick update. I actually had to go run some errands earlier than I thought, so I just came back home and we have 1 hour of this challenge left. So we're gonna kick it in gear. I did make earlier a bunch of squares that I haven't sewed on their ends yet, and that is to make my life easier towards the end of the challenge. So first things first, I'm going to weave in all of those ends, and then I think I'm gonna have time for 1 more square, and then when the timer stops, I'll come back to you. Okay guys, I finished weaving in all of the ends and I have 20 minutes, so I think it's exactly time to make one final granny square. Finally finished 12 hours and I'm just going to finish up this granny square real quick. The last end woven in. Let's recap. This is the amount of granny squares that I was able to make in 12 hours and 10 minutes. First things first, let's count this bad boy up, shall we? Ooh! In the last 12 hours of me crocheting, we have made 27 granny squares. Isn't that crazy? So my initial guess was 25 granny squares, and I'm glad that we passed it. And I enjoyed this challenge very much because each and every granny square is different. So every time that I make another granny square and another granny square, yes, it's very repetitive, but I enjoy to see the different colors. I enjoy the process, and I also enjoy weaving in all of my ends. I am so glad we made a dent in my scraps. These are actually, wait up, these are all the scraps that I have left, which is really, really not a lot. We had like a table full of yarn scraps. 27 granny squares in 12 hours. It's crazy. All of these granny squares are going to go to my granny square blanket that I have in the works. Right now I have 3.5 rows worth of the blanket, and you'll get to see it forming up in the next videos, in the foreseeable future, in the long future. This is really an ongoing project that I'm so glad to work on. So guys, tell me in the comments if the total number of granny squares that I made actually met your guess. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!